And as soon as someone is there, why don't you take that on as a project and read verses 22 through 24.
And she named him Joseph, saying, "May the Lord give me another son." Now it came about, when Rachel had borne Joseph, that Jacob said to Laban, "Send me away that I may go to my own place and to my own country."
Okay, all right, good, thank you. Was that verse 22?
No, it's 25.
Okay. Why don't we go back and read verse 22 a little bit more there?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay, Dick.
Then God remembered Rachel, and God gave heed to her and opened her womb. So she conceived and bore a son, and said, "God has taken away my reproach." And she named him Joseph, saying, "May the Lord give me another son."
Okay, good. That's good. That's, we got it in two pieces this morning, but we all understand that.
He's like God. He knows the end before the beginning.
Yeah. Well, here we are, and we've been studying this blossoming and growing family, Jacob's family, and we've created this chart here. And we're right now down here at child number 11, Joseph. And we can see here that this is actually Rachel's first son. She had two through Bilhah, her handmaid, Dan and Naphtali. But now Joseph is number one. She's been waiting a long time, hasn't she? Boy, in a contest, remember, they're in a contest, the two sisters, who can bear the most. And of course, I don't know the matrix that they're judging here, but if it's just numerical, she's behind. She's behind in the contest, but she bore Joseph, and that's what we're going to read about this morning.
So, Mike, maybe it's quality rather than quantity.
Well, that's what, yeah. Yeah, Joseph is an amazing man, really is. But we're not going to go there because we don't want to compare. I don't want us to do that. So the word, this is really an interesting, I think, the way the Hebrew works on play on words. And this is really common, but this is a really good example of, if we can work with the Hebrew language a little bit, maybe some colorful nuances and of how they put these words together to create meaning. Well, the word Joseph is Yosef, and here it is. This little guy here is called a Yod. That's a Va, V-A-U, Va. And when you got a line over it, it's an O. So it's Yo, Yo. And then that's a Samak. That's a Samak. And when it's got two dots under it, it's an A sound. So it's Yosef, and then that's a Pei, so P sound. So Yosef is how you say it. But it's a conglomerate of two words. And one is, this down here is, this would be Aleph, Samak, Pei, which would be Asaph, or Asaph would be take. So the Lord has taken away my reproach, I read the Living Bible on this, and actually I refer to the Living Bible quite a bit. It says, "The God has removed the dark slur against my name." Yeah. Now this is, of course, not a translation, but paraphrase. But boy, nice, colorful. I think it's very close with how she's thinking. We're going to talk about that. But the Lord has taken away the reproach, as we see here on the tabulation of the contest, she is way behind. You know, and so now the Lord has taken away my reproach. So that's asaf, taken away. And then the other word is over here. That's yasaf, yasef. Remember, a short yasef, yod samek pei, yasef, and that means add. So you got add and take in the same word, and you take those two words together, and you got Yosef. See, so she named him. There's an aspect of him that is taking away, but there's also an aspect of adding to. And what is she thinking of? This is really important. What is she referring to as the added piece from the text? What's that?
Those sons.
Another son. And the way I read that, who is that other son?
Benjamin.
Yeah, there you go. See, that's how I see it. She's not really referring to Joseph here, but may the Lord add yet another son. Okay? Wow. Okay, so here she is. Here she is, and this is where I'd like to go with this. I'm glad you see it the way I do. Now we don't have to argue.
So, be the boss.
Yeah, just be the boss. She's referring to yet another son who will be position number 12, Benjamin, and we'll get to that later. But here is what I want to build up this morning. I've got this little chart going here, and I've got the subject of our text this morning is Sister Rachel. Simple. Got that filled in already, right here. You know, I just figured out how to use that pointer last week. Then the context is what? She's giving birth to her first son, Joseph. So she gives birth. And boy, this in my mind would be a tremendous celebration, right? This is a wonderful thing to celebrate. Not so much in the context of the contest, but just giving birth to a child. This is the woman's time. This is a wonderful event and experience in a woman's life. So I hear.
And the firstborn.
And her firstborn. Yes, there's so much here to lend weight to this experience. But guys, what captured me is her head is elsewhere. She's wanting another son. And so I'm going to put in here, get my little marker here. Her response, how would you call, what should we put in there for her response?
What's next?
Yeah, there you go. That's good. What is next?
It's like me at the buffet. You got all you want? You want more?
We're so like guys, aren't we? We're sitting there feeding our face with mashed potatoes and roast beef, and you look up across the table to your wife and you say, "Wonder what's for dessert?" You know. Boy, that's where we're at.
What next?
What's that?
What next? To me, that's a question in her mind. She has a request. It's like, I want again. I want more.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe that would.
Hey, I'll tell you what here. I know how to do this. We could do this. I like that one too. We're gonna. You guys can't see this, but I'm gonna watch this here. See that? Isn't that cool?
I can't see it. Oh, there you go.
Oh, see, I made it small. And then what we can do is I can capture that and I can move that up here. See, and now we're going to put in Carl's. Carl, and how do we say it, Carl?
Request. I want more.
I want more.
I want more.
I think that's fair. I want more.
You know, Mike, maybe that flows out of her statement, he's taken away my reproach, my shame, or whatever it is. Because the shame was she wasn't having children. And now that this wall came down, maybe she's expecting a flood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's to be like her older sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, wow.
We're on a
Let's
roll.
We're on a roll here.
We're on a roll.
Is it?
So what's next? And I want more. But the point is she is bypassing the experience of the moment and the celebration of what is a new birth and her firstborn son. Wow, she is moving beyond that to what's next. I want more.
Is it possible that the Lord spoke to her and told her that she was going to have another son?
Oh, that'd be the nice Christian answer, wouldn't it? It could be, Dave. I don't know. I don't know. So here's my idea here, guys, is that we've got a context, a given context, and a response. And think of it as two bars, two bars. And gal, if we're in it, if we are where we are at a given time, it should be a 1-to-1 correlation, right? Boy, it should line up. But what my point is here is, whoa, I gotta take that back. See, I can do that. I hit the wrong little tool here. It's kind of fun playing with this. Okay, so here's my big thing here. I want you to catch this, is that in her case, it's skewed. See, the context and the response are not in sync.
It's not on the screen.
It's what?
It's not on the screen.
Oh, I can't see behind my
Yeah, I
head.
know, that's what I said.
Okay, can you see that though?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, if there's a line across here like this, whoa. You know, a straight line, it's not lined up. Okay, that's the idea. So I'd like to suggest that Rachel's head, I'm going to see if we can do this. I was practicing this so I could do this. I'm going to play with Rachel's head. I'm going to really take a, look at there. Oh, you can't see it yet. Okay. Rachel's head is elsewhere. Isn't that fun? Okay. So, why do our heads go elsewhere? Guys, I got to believe that you have experienced that at least 1 or 2 times in your life. Honey, where is your head at? You know, where is your head? You're sitting there over dinner. We're on course 1 and we're thinking about dessert. Or we're there at dinner and our heads are thinking about a business deal that we were supposed to do, or a business deal gone south, or a troubled relationship, or something. Guys, we are pulled so much from where we are here. I love the statement, while you're here, be here. And that is easier said than done. Is that not true? So I wanted to dive into this a little bit and say, what are the things that pull our heads elsewhere? You know, that our bodies are here, our context is here, but for some reason my response is disconnected from where I am. And what is that? And I'd like to say, guys, is that this is so common to us as human beings, is that, and do you realize this? The only opportunity to live life is right now. Is right now. And if we're living life right now in this disconnected manner, we're not truly living life. Guys, this isn't from me. I didn't come up with that idea, but I certainly adopt it. God, my challenge is keeping my head on my body. Now, some guys, we're out, I'm a guy that kind of tends to be looking ahead. I'm looking for dessert when I'm eating course 1. I tend to do that. And maybe some of you are like that. Some of us are living in the past where our heads this little thing happens and it raises up all these old tapes that play, and our heads are sucked back in unforgiveness and, you know, some really negative stuff. You had a comment.
Well, on your question there of what on the mind situation, doubt is one of the greatest things that works on having your mind somewhere else. In the Greek text in the New Testament, anywhere the word doubt is, it actually, the Greek word means double-minded.
Huh.
So that
Wow,
shows you
good.
that it is.
Very
Doubt
possible.
gives you double-minded.
Man, that's a really good. I was not aware of that. That is really helpful, because that's exactly what it is. This thing going on. Well, I've identified. Do you have a comment?
Well, I was just thinking that the two negative forces that pull us both directions. Regret is the word I did that pulls us backwards into the past, which you can't change. And fear pulls you forwards into things you can't do anything
Yeah.
about either.
Boy,
Both
that's
places
good.
are a waste of time.
Yeah, regret and fear, guilt and shame all line up with that, and fear of the future. Yeah, that really is. Yeah, those two. I've identified three, and I'll just submit those to you. And I think they're in three realms. The three realms are security. You know, security is number one, and what that just means is my own personal safety. The idea being that if I'm in a state of being captured by my own, if I feel like my own personal safety is at threat, then it's really hard for me to be here. Okay, now you go, well, that's easy. If we were living in a hunter-gatherer state, that I'm out there looking for my next meal. I think those people were a lot more at peace than we are in our very affluent culture. Here we are, guys. The reality is, many of us struggle with having enough. Many of us. That I have. If you think about what we have, as far as the context of the world around us, but yet we still worry about having enough. This is what we're talking about, security. That I'm fearful that I won't have enough. That is what I'm talking about, Dave.
There's only one letter difference in the spelling of the word affluence from effluence.
Yeah. Yeah, good. Good, yeah. The next one is in regard to the realm of relationships. So think of it in terms of personal safety. Number two is right here, relationships. And primarily what I mean here is centering on the subject of love and not feeling loved. Being in a position where I perceive myself as not loved, that there is no one in this world that loves me. It's this, and it's a need. It is like one of the primal needs of us human beings is to be loved. And if we don't have that, there is a huge deficit. It's really hard to go anywhere without that feeling. And so here we are again. You think, well, I feel loved. But why is it, guys? In a reality sense, why is it that I feel I have to do in order to gain the love of God? You know, I can believe that God loves Jim or Steve, and I believe it because I believe the scripture that he loves me. But why is it, why do my actions point to the fact that I'm not a very good Christian, or that I'm second class? That just points to the fact that we have not been overwhelmed by the unconditional love of God. You know, if I feel that I have to do a certain thing, then I'm struggling with that. That's the reality. Does God love me unconditionally or not? Or are there certain things he requires? And I know you all deal with it. I know I deal with it. Are there certain, does God love me unconditionally? Well, not so fast. I can't keep doing it. Can you? Or can't you?
Well, I think I'm moving to a different sphere here. And I don't know, it's not so much, God loves me, fine, that's great. Is God pleased with me? Well, that's an interesting question.
Yeah, it sure is.
You know,
That's what we're
'cause
talking about.
I want to please God. Is that bad?
Yeah.
That was one of the most beautiful things about Billy Graham's crusades. He pushed the fact that it was just as you are, even the
Yeah.
music at the end.
Come just as you are, yeah.
Just as you are. And you don't hear that probably enough in churches today. But that's.
Well, there's definitely different views on
The
this.
gospel really is a simple message, and people have tried to make it extremely difficult. And that's just the way men are, you just, through saying, I gotta do something different about me for his love. That's what we're missing.
You really, we got to think about it, because what is my perception of God? Is God judge? Is God waiting for me to step out? Do I always feel like I'm one step out of sync? Or am I a beloved son of God always, regardless? Okay, the third thing actually dovetails with the first two. One is safety, one is relationship. This next one over here, whoa, got the wrong pointer, over here. Identity, and what I mean here is, where are we resting who we are as an individual? Who am I? And for guys specifically, this is a feeling going through life, feeling I don't measure up. I don't have what it takes. Has anybody ever asked that question? Yeah. Yeah. I doubt if I have what it takes. I don't know if I have what it takes.
I don't ask the question. I know it.
Yeah. I don't, and of course then what is it you don't have? What does it take? If you had what it took, what would that be? I don't know. But I don't have it. Isn't that true? Yeah. So the first thing is my own personal safety being threat. That causes our head to go elsewhere. The second thing is the sense of not feeling accepted and loved. And that's touchy-feely stuff that it's hard for us guys to think about, but it's so needed for all human beings. The third thing is the fact that my identity is rested in whether I feel I measure up or not. It could, the other flip side of that one could be, well, I measure up, no one else does. My way or the highway.
Yeah.
So I would like to ask the question, in this context, where is Rachel's head? I've been so excited to do this all week. So where would you vote? Where do you guys think, of one of the three, where is Rachel's head? Of what we know about Rachel, where is her head? Is she identity? And why do you say identity, Dick?
Well, she's comparing herself to her sister.
Yeah, yeah. And she says, in the Living Bible quote that I said, that God has removed the slur of my name. She's into her name and how she's perceived by the others. There's a lot of evidence in the prior text of how God will now remove the reproach of the women in the community. She made that statement earlier when the first two were born. So I've been really excited about this, and I'm going to try this here. I'm going to remove Rachel's head, and I'm going to put it over here. Here she is, and some other part of her, looks like part of her backbone came with it. You can't see, but I can. So here we go. I'll do this.
I thought she was drooling.
She does look like a zombie, kind of.
So, well, the whole thing looks like a zombie. So I would agree that her struggle, her head, she is not able to enjoy and to really live at the moment of bringing a baby into this world, because her head is elsewhere. And where is her head? Struggling with her own identity, who she is. Yeah. Yes, sir.
I'm just wondering if the rest of the community now would be celebrating with Rachel, or not.
Or having strategy meetings.
You've been giving her such a hard time.
Yeah.
And she's been under so much storm for all this time. And I just wonder if they're rejoicing or they're going, well, she only has one.
Yeah.
This kind of thing.
Yeah, that's the cultural voice. I'm thinking of this in the context of business. We don't celebrate nearly enough. You know, we work and work and work in our little electrical company, and once in a while we have a victory. I'm ready to go out for lunch. You know, let's have coffee or something and just say, time out. Well, we had a victory. Guys, we don't celebrate nearly enough. You know, we just don't do that.
But if you don't celebrate the things that you want to celebrate, nobody celebrates with you.
No.
Because you're the one that will be the
Yeah.
starter,
Yeah.
just like Rachel.
Yeah.
She's not celebrating it, so no one
No.
else is probably celebrating it with her.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she's the one that's got to call it. Let us celebrate. You know, like the father and the returning son. Okay, we're gonna get. You know, he didn't go out and meet him and say, okay, good to see you, son. You know, let's go in here and I'll give you some tasks and go to work. You know, that's where our heads are. You know, a lot of the time. But he celebrated. Yes,
Is there
sir.
any comment from Jacob on all of this? I don't see anything in there. You think he would be the one celebrating?
Jacob is a stud service. Sorry. I don't know where he's at. He's just going. He's going to work every day and coming back and say, okay, who am I with tonight? I have no idea. I have no idea where he is.
Well, he's about to have a mind change because
Yeah.
he's going to start knitting a beautiful coat.
Yeah. Yeah. There's more to this story. Okay, now I got another question. Okay, we're going to have to wrap, but in contrast, or maybe not in contrast, but in like manner, we've talked about Rachel. Where is Leah's head? Where is the area of the three areas? Where would you identify her head?
Security relationship.
I think so, Dick. And because over and over, what has been her response?
She's got love.
She's not loved. Yeah, she doesn't feel loved. And so I think hands down would be her. There's my phone.
She's there because of
The phone of the electrical wars. So I'm going to put her over here. So Leah's head is the fact that she does not feel loved. And it is very difficult, guys, for anyone. If you don't feel loved, it's hard to get beyond that. Everything, it's like an implosion, a collapse upon ourselves, and everything comes back to that. Question I want to leave you guys today is, what tends to pull your head? And I'm leaving a little exercise for you to think about is, I know that we are not exempt from this. And I would say, I ask you all of us, me included, is what tends to pull my head away from where I am at the moment? And the way I put this together is I created 10 points. It's kind of it may not just be one, it may be a combination of two, but trying to get us to identify what is the primary, what is the primary pull of my head would have the most points. So is it a security issue of not having enough? Do I worry about my retirement? Do I worry about this not having enough? And is that, how many points do I allocate there? Second thing is, what about this feeling of acceptance and love? Do I struggle with that? And guys, that's not bad at all. It is. It's who we are as human beings. And I venture it's going to be that way until we die to some degree. I don't think we have to live where we're bound to these things for other reasons, but it's certainly part of our lives. Relationships would be feeling unloved, or the third is quite frankly, never felt like I measured up. Never have felt like I measured up. So these are for you. You can do with it what you wish, but I think it's a good exercise to catch yourself in the moment. Where is my head? Because the wisdom still stands. While you're here, be here. See you next week.
Mike, do you think this end of John is significant when Peter is told to follow Jesus?